Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
So nice to meet you. My name is Lexi. I am CEO and founder of The Confidence Co. My professional career here is outlined on this slide, but I think it's truly my personal story, which is the most important and is the reason why I started the Confidence Company and it exists today. So I'm going to go into that. I grew up in a large Italian family. Think meatballs, spaghetti, pizza, rich foods all alike, cheeses. We like to eat the Italian
I'm
blood in us.
Italian on both sides. I
Perfect.
definitely understand the crazy five-course dinners for sure.
Yes, yes. And they're so good, irresistible. So it didn't stop me from eating them. Let's just say that regardless. But the resulting digestive issues came from that diet were also considered normal in my family. But as a young adult, my issues became more problematic. I started having upset stomach, yeast infections, fatigue, skin irritations, and issues. Frankly, I thought I was alone. But the more I talked about it, the more I realized that I wasn't alone in my problems. And no one really knew how to solve them. So I started taking things seriously and I approached a GI doctor and a naturopath. And I learned a lot about natural remedies, one which was digestive enzymes. It opened my eyes to a whole new world of preventative medicine that I hadn't actually been exposed to before. The problem then became that I was out to dinner in New York City with a massive pill box, which looked like this, sticking out of my purse. And I would carry so many of them and all of and my friends would be like, oh, can I get one? Can I get one? And so this became kind of like my story. So I thought if these enzymes are so effective, why don't people know about them? Why isn't there a product that is built for the modern customer, sleek, portable, and fun and confident? So I decided to take a deeper look into the problem itself. According to a recent study, a quarter of consumers globally suffer from lower digestive issues. In half of those cases, consumers claim that this is a moderate, even severe impact on their overall health. That is a really big number. There are about 5.5 billion people over the age of 14, meaning there are nearly 690 million people who need gut confidence.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
So these digestive enzymes, do they need to be different for different types of people? Like maybe some people have trouble digesting fat while others have trouble digesting protein while other people carbohydrates, or like it seems like you put this together as a sort of one enzyme for anyone, but is that the case?
That's a great question. And so originally when I came up with the idea, I was like, all right, like I'm gonna need to have like a ton of different enzyme blends for like the vegan and the carnivore and all those different types of humans. And to be honest, once I learned more about enzymes themselves, sure, that could be a decent fix for like a small portion of people, which would be if people are just vegans only or if they are carnivores only. But I think ultimately by creating one premium one that checks all the boxes from doing the due diligence of creating different formulas based on different types of diets, that's how we came on to like okay, like this one right here checks all the boxes that we covered on all the diets that we thought were interesting, and this specifically could cover bases for everyone. But with that said, it doesn't mean that there aren't line extensions that could essentially be in the future for people maybe who are specific with their diet. But
How
most
would you
people,
assess, Lexi, how would you assess what type of enzymes are missing? Like, is there some sort of test you can do? Is it merely a survey? Is it like, how would you understand if somebody has a hard time digesting carbs versus proteins, for example?
the beautiful thing about digestive enzymes is obviously digestive enzymes already exist in your gut lining. And so the digestive enzymes that your body creates, usually they're supposed to be a sufficient number for the amount of food that you're putting into your body, right? But naturally, a lot of us, based on just diet variation of what we're eating, don't necessarily have those or the sufficient number of enzymes in order to be able to counterbalance with the foods that we're eating. So I found that digestive enzymes are actually a common thing given by naturopaths and even most forward-thinking Western doctors for people who are aging. But there's a lot of people now in our community, especially mine, that are having digestive issues. So why not kind of get it from the root core and start putting these into your diet initially in order to be able to prevent any of the long-terming diseases that could essentially come later from having undigested food. And
so that's, you could, when talk about line extension, because I was thinking about this for you, like take this enzyme if you're going to have like a steak dinner, take this enzyme if you're having pasta, because one's carbs, one's protein. I don't know. I don't want to digress too much off because I want to get to the whole deck, but I couldn't help myself but think about where you could take this and how big this could be.
No, I appreciate that. And I completely agree with you. And I think it's really just the beginning. So I appreciate that you think that that I have a bigger vision, because I do.
No, but if you do, so here again, getting back to the deck, if you do, I always like, especially if you're looking to raise venture capital, and I know you had some questions about that and whether you are, and I always would recommend, you go for it. By sharing a deck that is your big vision up front for what this could be and how big it could be, and then separating that big vision from, okay, this is how I'm starting, and so that's where I want to go. I'm starting with enzymes. I'm starting with enzymes for these reasons, because this is a good place to start. It's a good whatever, however it is. But my plan is to go to phase 2 and phase 3 and phase 4, and this is the bigger vision, because you could get someone so interested and enamored with the big vision, they could say like, well, if I gave you $10 million now, can we go and start attacking that vision sooner? That sort of thing.
Yep.
I think it's very hard to raise venture capital when you're sort of a single product company like this. I mean, you can definitely raise angel and you can raise money, but if you really want to like create this into a really big company, and I'm sure you have big goals for this, that you would. And even if the slide was only a couple slides on the vision, and then you got into the rest of the deck, I still think it's helpful that investors know that you're thinking much bigger, and that there's a real like white space here. Okay, let's continue. Sorry to
no, it's fine. It's all really good things. I'm glad that you're stepping in. But post COVID-19, consumers are expected to focus much more on preventative health and will pay attention to healthy nutrition. And so that's the link right here that we have between gut health and immunity. And that will provide a further boost because of COVID-19. Yet there are legacy brands that have outdated packaging, messaging, and also focus on much more reactive remedies. So we have the Confidence Co. We are a brand focusing on creating modern supplements that promote optimal digestion, and we're creating a community of confident humans that understand that confidence starts within the gut. Our goal is to make gut health a habit, and we want to address these common issues by providing solutions to restore gut confidence and have people reclaim their gut.
I love the packaging.
Thank you. Worked hard on it. For our launch product, we've created a premium digestive enzyme supplement, which you've tried, in a clear messaging, with clear messaging and a form factor that's sleek and portable. What people are saying so far, we've had like overwhelming positive feedback, which has been really great. So I wanted to add some of this in here. Some of the biggest people and our biggest users happen to be people who have IBS. They've always been searching for solutions. It's one of the most overly diagnosed things from Western medicine. People come in, they say that they have digestive issues, and they have no real solutions other than taking an antibiotic to potentially maybe take away some of the bad bacteria, but no real actionable steps towards, hey, maybe you should incorporate some really great nutritious fibers, foods into your diet, so on and so forth. And so when people come to us, we want to educate and provide good, approachable solutions for them to add to their everyday life to make things more comfortable. So earlier we talked about the size of the digestion problem, but if we want to get more granular, the digestive health supplement market is approximately $8.5 billion globally. And the digestive enzyme market, which we launched our first product in, and it lives in, is projected to be $1.5 billion globally, with $500 million in North America alone by 2025. These are all projections. But there is a massive opportunity here. So far, our customer lives in the 24 to 45-year-old who make more than 50K a year. 90% of them shop online, 82% invest in health and wellness, and 74% want brands to embrace wellness as their mission. For customer acquisition strategy, we have organic, we have paid, we have influencers, and we have a podcast that's going to be launching this month, actually. And we've done some PR. Our customer acquisition strategy and PR has been really great. I think the most notable article that we had came out last month. And we were featured in Forbes as one of the best health and wellness supplements of 2020 in their gift guide. For paid marketing and lifetime value, we're currently hovering on a CAC of between $17 to $20 for first-time purchases. For lifetime value, though, we have $84 as the lifetime customer is the lifetime spend over a customer based on subscribers. Obviously, this is really new. We launched I guess I didn't tell you this, but we launched in May of this past year. So we're a relatively new brand. So a lot of those numbers and the percentages that we have currently are obviously still new, and we're learning a lot of new things about our customer.
Lexi, the $84, that's expected lifetime revenue from a customer based on the repeat rates you're seeing now?
Correct.
Okay. And what would be the lifetime profit?
Lifetime profit. So right now, this is what we're seeing on people who are subscribers. I probably would need to get a little bit more granular on the actual profitability. But this is 2020 in review, which I think is kind of like the question that you really had. And this is since May 1st of this year. Currently, our average order value is hovering around between about $38 to $39. Right now, we have 376 subscribers, but that's obviously on the up. And our total sales since May has been $119,000 or $120,000 with reoccurring revenue of close to 10.
What does reoccurring revenue mean?
That's our subscriber revenue.
Is there a membership or?
It's a subscription. Yeah. So you get 15% off for subscribing on a monthly basis.
And how much is it monthly?
It's $25.50 for the subscriber, and then it's $30 for a single purchase.
I see. Okay.
For projections, and these are pretty conservative, but for now, that's kind of the numbers that we projected.
Okay. So if you're a 17% EBITDA margin, and you said that the lifetime revenue of a customer was a little over 80?
Yeah.
So you're talking about $13 to $14 of lifetime EBITDA per customer. The only concern is the cost to acquire is higher than the lifetime EBITDA. So just it's, I think, really important. You asked a question, I think, about CAC versus LTV and the most important metric. Yes, I do think that one of the most important metrics is the CAC, cost to acquire a customer, versus the lifetime value, meaning lifetime profit of a customer. I'd like to see the lifetime profit of a customer be 3 to 4 times the CAC. So if it's costing you $20 to get to get a customer, you'd want to see about $80 in profit. And at a 17% EBITDA margin means you need to get $450, $500 in revenue over the lifetime of a customer. So, which doesn't, if you are getting subscribers and they're paying $25 a month, then it's basically less than 2 years, you've got it. And so I don't think I think the math could work here. I think you have to just lay it out in a way that's a little bit more clear. The other thing that I would say just about the deck, listening to the whole pitch, by the way, thanks for doing that. I think it's the deck is tight. It's the right length. It looks good. It's the presentation is solid. You jumped right into your story and your background out of the gate. I kind of knew what this was because you sent it to me, but it's not always the case that somebody looking at it will necessarily know right out of the gate what exactly this is. So even if people
Okay.
know it already, I think it's always the very first slide, show a picture of the enzyme packaging, and basically in the simplest way you possibly can, explain what exactly is the business. So we have manufactured a digestive enzyme that does X, Y, Z, like, and that's it. And we sell it direct to consumer through a website, like, or if you sell it in the store, that you would say that too. But like, and that kind of just says, okay, it level sets what we're talking about. Then I think you can tell the story of your background and just how this idea came about. I think it adds some nice color. I think that's fine. You probably also right after that want to talk about the bigger vision that you have for this.
Yeah.
Now, it might be not the vision I necessarily said, which is a whole different thing, but even the vision you shared here, which is you have other products that you're launching, a second product, the third product, the size of the market. Like,
Yep.
I'd want to know really early on, how big are you thinking here? Tell me that up front. My vision, I would just go right into it. Like, you tell your story, say, my vision for this goes beyond just a single product digestive enzyme. My vision is to do X, Y, Z, like how big are you thinking?
And I actually have, like, I was gonna probably end with that, and I probably should just lead with it.
Yeah, lead with it right after your story, so that people then want to pay attention. Like, wow, she's thinking really big here. This is not, I shouldn't be thinking about this as just a single product digestive enzyme company, because that's not that exciting. But if you paint this vision of how big you're thinking, and then put some numbers around it early in terms of like, you don't have to get into the details of the market, but just given the size of the market, I mean, this could be $1 billion business. Like that kind of just up front. Then you're like, okay, now I'm really going to pay attention, because it's really early stage and you have a lot of potential. Great. Then I think you can go into a little bit, more background, like you did, about the market, about the competition. I also think you didn't really cover here so much the customer value prop. Like, hey, we offer, you can buy it direct, you can buy subscribe. Here's the price. Here's like sort of like just sort of the price value relationship to the customer. I think needs to be covered earlier on.
Yeah, talking about like when I'm covering LV, like lifetime value, and talking about why there's an incentive based on price differentiation for subscription too. You're definitely right.
That's like a slide earlier on about just like the product value prop. And then later, I wouldn't talk about LTV there. Then later in the deck, as you do, you talk about the customer repeat rates, how much revenue is seen from subscribers and non-subscribers, how it's still early, but here's what you estimate and think it's going to be. If you apply a 17% EBITDA margin, here's the profit that, lifetime profit we think we can get from a customer. And look, that's 4 times the CAC. We're feeling really good. And then the other thing to cover on the marketing CAC side, I'd want to know where you're spending money right now to get that CAC. Is there opportunity to spend more to get the same CAC? Like, have you done any tests? Do you know you can spend 10x what you're spending today and the CAC stays the same? Or does the CAC triple when you 10x your spend? That's a question that somebody would really be thinking about, and you'd want to sort of hit that head on. Feel like you've got everything covered end to end. You've got somebody to talk to, you've got a plan. That doesn't really seem to exist.
Yeah, I mean,
in this area,
there are a few companies. I feel like there's like Parsley Health, and there's a few companies who are trying to do things like that. Whether or not I feel like they've been like super successful yet, I'm not totally sure. I signed up for them just to kind of get a good understanding of like what
Parsley
they're doing.
Health. That's exactly I don't, in all my research, that's where I landed. So that's where I finally got to do these tests. I think they are aiming to be holistic, but it's not a tech company. I think doing it, as a tech company would do, with a really cool front end product, and I think it could be really cool. I would definitely have the scientist in here and a little bit about like why you're unique when you compare to the competition and how you break down the market size for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been great. Hopefully that's been helpful. And
No, thank you so much. You've been super
good luck.
helpful, and it's always just really nice to meet you. Thank you.
Same here. Okay, Lexi. Bye.
Bye.